Hello everyone, welcome to our mid towards the end of the tournament recap plus games from round 9. So, you go left, right, back, forward, and somehow Magnus Carlsen is leading this tournament like in many other tournaments. And as I've mentioned, I think for him to win most tournaments, he just needs to play okay. Nobody else is playing amazing, and he's winning. So this tournament so far seems like this, right? 6.5 out of 9, 4 wins, 5 draws, including missing. I would say kinda almost winning or kinda game one against Esipenko playing d4, missing king e2 against Van Foist. Which round was it? Maybe round 5? Not certain. Something like that. Yeah, it was round 5, I believe. So yeah, quite. He could have had another extra point. I don't think he was any worse really. Simple. The big story is maybe Giri, right? If you remember how he got crushed against Magnus in round 2, and then just looked like he wants to be somewhere else, like quick draw here, quick draw there, and I really mentioned it looks like he's thinking about the next tournament, and then a miracle in the name of Fabi. And I mentioned that maybe this will bring new life, but wow, I mean, between new life to what is really happening, there's some distance, right? So, beating Caruana, tough game. I think he was better, then he was lost. Then Fabi threw away a win, then blundered the rook. Oh, rook b6 is like one of the weirdest blunders at such high level. You can see everything in our round 6 recap. Then the best game, when your opponent decides from whatever reason not to show up. I don't want to wear a mask, COVID, no COVID, God knows whatsoever. Anyway, took the full point against Dubov that didn't show up for round 7. And then I would say pretty great preparation and good game against Esipenko, winning with black. That was impressive. And the round today, winning against Shankland in for old people like me, you really remember in the late 70s, early 80s, maybe even mid 70s, Ulf Andersson, right, the great player, in such dry, quiet position when you are thinking there is nothing, and for him, the game is just starting. And today we have other players doing it, but I think it wasn't that common at that time. Anderson was really great in really in such position, and this was actually structures that Anderson played. So impressive win, very impressive win for Giri. Although Shankland could have played better. Objectively, I think Black should be able to hold it. But again, it's easy to sit at home. Yeah, no coffee, no good food. For now, we'll try to change that. But it's easy to sit at home and be super smart, saying, I think this, I think that. In the game, a bit more difficult. All right, Mamedov been doing great up until he met Magnus and won. Strange decision to my taste. Strange decision to my taste. Cost him the game and maybe chances for the tournament. Let's get and see that. Alright. We will go quickly over the opening, the Catalan. Yeah, this rook a6. Okay, I mean, I'm looking at the database. b5 was played by Matlakov. Played it against, it was white. His opponent played this. I believe it was in the Blitz Rapid World Championship a month ago. b5 was played 95, and then rook a6. Anyhow, we will let those smart people go over the opening. Okay, everything typical. Okay, I mean, other than the rook, but I guess the rook out of the diagonal. All right. Yeah, I think my taste. I mean, okay, keeping the pawn. But this seems acceptable. Okay, white cannot really take, I guess, this. And yeah. So the queen goes, but black looks very okay there. Black looks very okay. Okay, rook b6, another choice. Okay, I don't know. Bishop e7. Okay, obviously white want to go e5. The knight goes, and then knight g5, and starting to provoke big weaknesses. G6. Nah, nah. I mean, I've seen happier move than g6 in this position. So this is the idea of bishop e7, right? So the bishop will control this square. All right, all right. Okay, now here, very big decision, and I think maybe the decision of the tournament, maybe, definitely the decision of this game. I've praised Mamedero for playing so creative, so interesting. Usually he's like this, but this tournament really awesome. Like d4, knight f6, c4, e6, g4 against Esipenko. Are you kidding me? And his game against Praga and so on. Like, I mean, yeah, super interesting. But here, maybe, uh, um, how to say? I will quote the soup Nazi. I will quote the soup Nazi. You're pushing it, little man. Right? I will quote the soup Nazi. Medvedev is not exactly little man, but okay, he took, which is basically an exchange sacrifice. Maybe knight to b4, right? I mean, I'm looking at knight b4, take, and now maybe the key move you overlooked. I mean, this is better for white. I think so. Some pressure, pressure, pressure. But knight d5 is a good move. I mean, rook cannot take. Knight, I don't think can take, right? I don't know. It just stuff like that looks. I don't know. Knight d5 is really unclear. Okay, exchange sacrifice. Awesome, cool, interesting. Nah, not really, and definitely not against Magnus. So this is forced, right? I mean, knight g5. This is a discovered attack we were doing when we were kids, right? Okay, you know, in the World Blitz Championship, Carlsen lost very similar position to that. Oh my gosh, I do not remember his opponent player. His opponent was a good player, like 2650, 2700. Do not remember the name. Well, what to do? Too old. But it was really that similar, and black pushed the pawn. Magnus couldn't get enough counterplay on the king side. Ah, okay, plus bleed. But here he just played perfect, like just perfect. Okay, rook e8, great. Bishop e6 was needed. You want to protect the pawn quickly, so you are really threatening the pawn on d4, not allowing white to fully regroup and organize everything. This innocent move is another, well, not another. I mean, I really don't like the exchange sacrifice, but this is maybe getting black from worst position to lost. Maybe. I mean, because white is in time to play queen d1 when the rooks are on the file. Okay, I mean, is this losing or not? I think that with perfect play, yeah, with perfect play, it's probably quite an ugly position for black. Very ugly, very, very. But again, practically, well, you know, everything goes. But I mean, okay, white just played one really smart maneuver here, kicking the queen away. And now, where is the best spot for this knight on f3? Definitely not on f3. Doing nothing and blocking the bishop and whatever, whatever. So, where would the knight be great? The knight would be great on e3, f4, attacking d5, attacking lots of squares, lots of light squares. You don't need to be Magnus. Few moves Magnus played here were just perfect, perfect, perfect. But you don't need to be Magnus to play knight e1. Super logical. Knight is going to either e3, if when possible, d3, f4. Yeah, this is nah. Okay, this is just strong. No, nothing to consider about this pawn, right? Forget about it. Just forget about it. Yeah, so I mean, it looked so easy when Magnus is playing those moves, like Mamma Mia. Yeah, just resign, right? I mean, nothing to be scared here for white with black pawn. Okay, we can make this story complicated or simple. I choose to make it simple. This exchange sacrifice was a big A, and then Magnus played perfect. 1-2 inaccuracies by Mamederov, and yeah, it was maybe a little bit too much. Okay, let's see a little bit Giri game again. When I was young, I would have said, "Oh my gosh, this is the most boring chess in the world." Now I'm not young. I still think it is very boring. No, but it's awesome. Let's have a look at that. And for again, old people that remember Anderson, yeah, it makes you like feel, yeah, that's awesome chess. So let's have a look at that. All right. Well, let's see Anish stuff. Okay. Okay. So some, I don't know, reverse King's Indian attack, whatever. Okay, take. And to the endgame we go. Oh wait, knight d4 is a threat. Long castle. Rook e1. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at database. This Giri is familiar with this position, but also Shankland. Uh, instead of knight bd2, h3 was played in Peter Svidler against Giri in one online stuff. It was played by Gelfand against Giri, also in some online stuff, both of them in 2020. And I'm scrolling down, there's also a game of Shankland. Again, Shankland game is from 2021 with h3. Rapport against Shankland from Tata Steel 2019. So basically, okay, this was, both players were familiar actually with the black pieces, and Shankland displayed it, well, Giri played it online, Shankland displayed it in Veikanze. Old people like me say Veikanze, 2019, Tata Steel 2019. We will give respect to the sponsors. All right. Rookie one. Like, really, I don't remember the Anderson opponent, but very famous game by Anderson that appears in some books, like knight c4, b4, a4. Not exactly this position, but similar, stuff to that, to such endgames. Anyway, bishop h6. Okay, logical to try and fix the bishop. Again, we are not going to analyze it too deeply. I will tell you this. I looked at this game for a bit, and I was really like impressed because I don't think Shankland played any big mistake. He's probably slightly worse here, slightly worse, and you need to play very accurate. Like, okay, knight c4 logical, take also logical. I mean, maybe something else better, but it's logical. And then, yeah, I looked at that, and my first instinct was, okay, what the heck? Black is just totally okay. Not really. I mean, okay, Giri played like, well, one of the very, very, very best players in the world, and tiny bit deeper than, oh, well, Black is just okay, right? So this why I was so impressed. Knight d6, Black super okay, but not so fast. Rook here, Rook d1. Check. Why not? No, no joking. Pushing the king away, but mainly The big idea is rook e3. I mean, this has to be the heart of black's play. One, somewhat some pressure against the pawn on f7. And the knight is really, really not good. If black knight was on, I don't know, some better square, I think black would be very close to okay here. Like really okay. Also here maybe, I will mention that I think this was a really critical moment of this game. Really critical moment here. Shankland played king c7. Okay, most logical move, but ay. It got him in some trouble. h5 probably really needed. The idea, I'm looking a little bit at my analysis. If the bishop goes to g4, sorry, d1, okay, now this is more possible. This is possible. Now, what is the big difference? That if rook d6, black is not paralyzed. If the bishop is on this diagonal, this is the heart of the position to understand. If the bishop is on h3, black's king cannot go anywhere. King d8, the pawn on d6 is under attack. King d7 cannot be played. But now, this is just possible. Okay, if bishop b3, maybe just f5. Maybe, I don't know. Something like that. And if bishop h3, okay, h4, and now rook h7, and black will be able to organize the pieces more or less better. I'm looking at my analysis. Yeah, this was. Oh, sorry. I see that it looks strange. I blundered the bishop on h3. Okay, whoops. This thingy. Yeah, I mean, white is still better, but I think this is, for example, we can maybe go with this idea now, right? As opposed to if the rook is on f8, okay, let me just yada, go to the position rook on f8. Black cannot free himself. Bishop e6 and yada, game over. So h5 with rook h7, I think was critical. Now, I have to tell you something. It's a story that I think I heard for almost 32 years. Oh my gosh, when I was a young kid playing in one of the world championships. Uh, Um, so, okay, here, look, I played, this is from the world championship. I played, oh no, sorry, it was 30 years ago, 30 and a bit years ago, 31. In the world championship under 16, I played, and we stayed in the room I stayed in the room with two other players. Another one of them was won a previous world championship, and one of the players, today is a doctor, a grandmaster, was telling me, it's so funny, he played the previous world championship in 1990. I think it was in Puerto Rico, and I'm quoting, he said they played in some hall. I didn't play there. They played in, no, maybe 1990 or 1989. They played in some hall, and suddenly there was some music, loud music from the outside. The song Sacrifice by Elton John. And the opponent next to him just started sacrificing all the pieces. Well, he was, I think he was really serious. Now, I don't know, true, not true, joking, not joking, because that person also claimed that I was walking in the room during my sleep, which nobody else in history claimed it, but those are memories from 1991 World Championship, sharing the room with, well, three players that became Grandmaster. It was quite awesome. Anyway, so speaking about 31-year-old long story, and Shankland here, and Sacrifice by Elton John. Look what happened. I looked at this game, I said, okay, this is first thing in my head. Black is worse. And somewhat paralyzed here, no kidding. But Okay, giving one pawn. Okay, I like this move a lot. Trying to free the position. No, this is winning. This is just winning. I think Shankland tried too much to get activity. Giving another pawn. Man, I mean, Elton John song is it's a good song, but I mean, this is tiny serious. Okay. Anyway, just little bit technique here. Nah, nothing much, and just resign. Okay, I think Shankland collapsed at some point here. He tried too much to get activity, maybe too much Elton John sacrifice song, but it was really, really impressive game. I mean Shankland. Okay, he's not having a great tournament, but he's been playing quite good recently. Yeah, this is I would say a little bit rare loss for him. Just one completely one-way game, and he got slightly worse. And yeah, a missed h5, and then just tried to tiny bit too desperately to go for the some active play. I mean, just to be certain, if take, okay, this is just going to be a queen, and yeah, I mean, 2 or 3 pawns up endgames, even I can win. Okay, well, Giri has tiny easier pairing. I looked at the next 4 rounds again to my taste, right? I think he has tiny easier pairing playing against rated wise some lower players. If he's winning this tournament, and usually he's playing great in Tata still, man, that's gonna be like the comeback of all comebacks, like thousands of years from now they will write songs about this if he's going to win this tournament. So maybe not sacrifice song, but something else. So we will get to see. Okay, few more rounds, 4 more rounds, and okay, interesting tournament. I just want action. I want the underdog in action, but I don't know who is the underdog anymore. All right, see you in next round. Bye.